In this video I'm going to explain decimals. Decimal, here we have the definition. A decimal fraction is a fraction whose denominator is 10, 100, 1000 or some other power of 10. It can be 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, million. It can be with the power of 10 as a denominator, power of 10. Here we know that later I'm going to teach you how to write, but 1 over 10 it's going to be equal to also 0.1. 1 over 10, when it is written as 0.1, this becomes decimal number. This becomes decimal number. This is the fraction form. This is the fraction form, and this is the decimal part. Or 3 over 100, it's going to be written as 0.03, or 571 over 1000, it's going to be equal to 0.571 it's going to be. And this is the fraction form of the decimal number, and this is the decimal form of the fraction rational expression. Okay, here we have to mention also something here, as here decimal number has 3 parts: a whole part, a decimal point, and fraction bar. Here when I write the fractional number, the whole number, the first number is the whole number. Here it is for 3 of them, it's 0. Then the decimal point it's going to be, then fraction part it's going to be. Okay, let's continue with reading the decimal numbers. Here we can read the decimal numbers like this: 0 and 0.59, or 0 and 5900. 5900. I can show you like this, that one. Here 5900. Okay, so the second one, 3 and 5000, or 3.005. Generally, I'm going to use second type of reading here, or the last one is 10,000, or 0.0016. Generally, I'm going to use this form, the second form here I'm going to use, and the last one is 513 and 57 hundredths. Here I'm going to explain how to convert the fraction into decimal form. Firstly, we are writing the numerator, then we are counting the number of zeros, and we are deciding with number of zeros from right to left. We are counting the decimal places, and we are putting our decimal point. So here there is only 1 0. From right to left I'm counting. Here there is 1, then I'm putting the decimal point here, and the term becomes 0.5. Or 25 or 100, we are firstly writing 25, then we are deciding about the decimal place. There are 2 zeros, so there must be, after 2 digits we should get the decimal point, then the term becomes 0.25. Here there are 3 zeros, so after 3 digits we should put the decimal point, so the term becomes 0.125. Or if I give example here, 7 over 100, if I say, I set at the beginning, firstly write the number 7, then how many zeros there are? 2 zeros, so there must be 2 decimal 2 digits here, but there's only one. That's why we are going to add one more 0 here. Then we are going to put our decimal point, and it's going to be equal to 0.07 or 16 over. If I say 10,000, firstly I'm writing 16, then I'm counting how many zeros there are. There are 4 zeros, so I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, then I'm putting the decimal point. If there is no place for the decimal point, we should add zeros here. Okay, let me solve some exercises from this part. I'm going to start with A. 3 over 100, it's going to be, firstly I'm going to write 3, then I'm going to start to count how many zeros there are. There are 2 zeros, so I need to put 2 digits. That's why I'm adding one more 0, then decimal point it comes, and we are going to write here 0 at the beginning. Okay, the second one is 15 over 10 it's going to be. I'm writing 15, then I'm counting the 0. There is only one 0, so there we are going to move from left to right, from right to left, only one unit, so the decimal point it's going to be here. And at the last part I'm going to solve the E1. Here 3 and 15 over 100 is mixed numbers. So first I'm going to transform that one into improper fraction. 100 times 3 it's equal to 300. 300 plus here times it's going to be. Then I'm going to add this one. You know that one. So E1 it's going to be equal to 315 over 100. So I'm writing first the 315, then how many zeros there are here? 2 zeros, so 2 decimal point, then I'm putting the decimal point, 2 decimal digit, then I'm putting the point here. At this part we are going to convert from decimal to fraction, and we are going to do like this for that one. 0.7 is given to us. We know that there must be terms with the denominator 10, 100 or 1000. It may continue like that. And the number of zeros we are deciding with respect to number of decimal digits. After the decimal digits, how many numbers there are? There is only one number, so we are going to add 1 0 here, and the term becomes 7 over 10. I forgot at the beginning, we are going to write firstly the number at the what is given in the question. First we are writing the number to the numerator without any decimal digit. Okay, now 3.6, it's going to be, firstly I'm going to write without any decimal number, then how many decimal digits after decimal point? There's only one, so it means that I'm going to write only 1 0 after 10. Or the important part here, 36 over 10, we may simplify and we can reduce to, if we divide by 2, we can reduce to 18 over 5. So 3.6 also can be written 18 over 5, or you can write 36 over 10. Both is possible. And the third one is 0.75, which is without decimal number. I'm writing without decimal digits. Without decimal point, I'm writing the numbers. 75 over 100 it's going to be. Then I may simplify both of them by 5. If I divide them by 5, this is going to be equal to 15. This is going to be equal to 20. If I divide them by 5 again here, this is going to be equal to 3, this is going to be equal to 4. So 0.75 can be written as 3 over 4, or it can be written as 75 over 100 without simplifying the term. The rest of them, it's going to be classwork for us. Here the fraction form it is given, and we are going to write into decimal form. The numbers which has chosen to denominator, they are not random numbers, because when we multiply by some number, numerator and denominator, we can get 110 at the denominator. I'm starting with the first one, 1 over 2, and now I should think with which number, if I multiply, I'll get 10, 100 or 1000, and this is the important part here, or 10,000. I'm going to multiply by 5, then I'm understanding that 5 times 2 is equal to 10. That's why when I multiply by 5, I'm going to multiply numerator and denominator together. So 1 over 2 becomes 5 over 10. And when it is 5 over 10, I'm understanding that this is going to be 0.5. So 5 is the first number that we may multiply, because we cannot multiply by every number that we like. 5 we can multiply if it is 2. If the denominator is 4, we can multiply by 25, because that's the easiest way to make 100 this number. So 25 times 1, it's 25. 4 times 25 is equal to 100. So if there is 25 over 100, we were writing the 25, then we were counting the decimal point, and with respect to number of zeros, 1 to decimal digit it should be, then decimal point we should locate. So the answer is 0.25. Or if I write 1 over 5, 1 over 5 and 1 over 2, here it can be, we can change their places. I can multiply by 2, so it can be equal to 2 over 10, then it can be equal to 0.2 as a decimal number.